No, sit down, Marley. Lay down. You sit down.
Go sit down, Mama.
Not right there. Go. Go.
Go sit down. Go lay down. Have you been uploading our videos? No.
You better stop. I have, but not. I'm nowhere near caught up to
Oh,
uploading them.
I just meant first season too.
I know what you mean.
Oh.
It's a process. I know 100% on what you meant by
All
that.
right. Go lay down. Hurry. Mommy and Daddy are about to start. Lay down. All right. Hey, everyone.
What's going on?
I'm Angela.
And I'm Ron.
And we are
Chatter of Opinion.
How was your day today?
I was a little busy, but I managed to make it through. How about yours?
Can I tell you, I'm glad it's Thursday.
You
Let's
still
just
got
say that.
Friday. You still
I
got
know,
Friday.
but at least we have just Friday. Like it's been one of those like weeks that seem to drag on for no apparent reason. So
Okay.
yeah. Anyways, so what is our topic today?
We are talking about what is a work wife / husband, and is it okay for you to go to lunch? And I'm going to say, I'll be general at first. Is it okay to go to lunch with a coworker of the opposite sex
when you're in a relationship?
When you're in a relationship, yes.
Things that make you go,
Yes, you know what? It's interesting because, first of all, I didn't actually know the definition of what a work wife or a work husband was to begin with.
All right.
When you talk about a work husband, and I've heard the terminology before, but I thought it was just like a crush.
Like someone who's interested.
Yeah, like you had a crush on somebody at your job.
Okay.
So if you had a crush on somebody.
So you're thinking romantic. So Ron asked me when we were, I don't know how it came up initially about this topic. But Ron asked me, did you ask me, do you know what a one is? Or did you ask me, do I have one?
I would not ask you if you had one. That's probably came after the fact. But I asked you, what is your definition of a work husband or work wife?
I could have sworn you were like, do you have a work
probably
husband?
Afterward. No, afterwards. Yeah, but not initially.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
for those that just joining us, once again, we are talking about what is the definition, your definition of a work husband or a work wife, and is it okay for you to go on a date?
No.
A date. Is it okay for you to go to lunch with a person of the opposite sex, let's say a coworker of the opposite sex while you're in a relationship?
Yes. So both has to do with work
related
relationships. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so I looked for the definition of work. They called it work spouse because then we don't have to keep saying husband, wife. Work spouse is a coworkers with close platonic bond.
Okay.
Shared interests, values, or compatible personalities. That's what it said.
Then that's what, a work spouse?
Work spouse.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so
Okay, so let's break this down.
Okay.
The definition of what you looked up, and you're talking about a work husband or a work wife, a work spouse. Let me get this correct. Mm-hmm. Is what's the first part?
Co-workers with a close platonic bond.
Close?
Yeah.
Platonic bond. Okay. What's next?
What is platonic?
Like you're separate. You're not together. You're just, y'all just.
We're platonic. We're platonic friends. That's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure I was understanding it correctly. With shared interests, values, or compatible personalities.
So if you take platonic out of that definition, you got a normal effing relationship.
No.
You got your soulmate.
No.
Take platonic out, right? Let's go. So somebody that has a close bond. Somebody that is close.
Shared interests.
We share the same interests with each other.
Compatible personalities. Okay.
I ain't gonna say nothing else. That's a relationship.
No, because platonic is in there.
Okay. Anyway, let's go.
You're just trying to stretch it.
I ain't trying to stretch nothing. If you take platonic out of that definition, you got an actual relationship. What you be looking for in a person, you want that person to be close to you, have a close bond. You want somewhere shared interests so y'all can do stuff together. Y'all values are aligned with each other, and you have compatible personalities. Like y'all get along with each other. Yes or no? So why?
But without romance, there's no romance. There's no this is my person.
That's normally a relationship. No. What are you talking about?
So you're saying we're in a relationship, but we don't have romance, but we do have shared interests, values, and we're compatible personalities?
There are some people that the relationship part, the romance part of it is not really that important.
Well,
but when you look for
doing it wrong.
When you look for a person in your life, right? You look for a good bond. You look for shared interests. You look for values that are aligned with each other, and you look for compatibility. Yes or no?
Yes.
So you're having all this at work.
You're stretching it.
How is that stretching?
Because that's not my definition is it's not romantic. There's not a romantic connection whatsoever.
Okay.
To me, wouldn't it be just like a best friend? You have a connection with your best friend. You have similar interests, similar values, compatible personalities, but you guys don't have a romantic relationship. They're just your friend.
But how many best friends normally hang out 8 hours a day? Almost 6 hours.
You act like they're all up on each other throughout the day. They just tend to have more interactions throughout the day because they're in the same location. Okay,
I would be curious to know how many people, if that's the definition, how many people actually have that with their actual spouse? You see what I'm saying?
Like all of
those? Yeah. How many people have those?
I'm gonna hope everyone. All right. So of course, the first connotation, as he's implying, is that it's a romantic relationship or can lead to it. Yeah, you are implying that. Try it. You can't say you're not implying it.
Okay. And I'll comment on that in a minute.
So in Newsweek, from October 2023, the people that they talked to about this. So in general, the stuff that I'm referencing is from this Newsweek article from October 2023, and it's from Whitman, who's from Culverhouse College of Business, and Mandeville Lutgert College of Business. So these are the ones that were like being interviewed due to their whether history or knowledge or whatever. And they said employees enter workplace romances typically for reasons of adventure seeking, sexual experience, or job-related motives.
Okay.
Whereas a work spouse relationship stems from feelings of bonding in a domain outside of the home. Okay. They also said that work spouse relationships offers more benefits than drawbacks.
What benefits are those?
Well, we'll go through those.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you get a benefit, all right.
It also said, despite the popular conception of work spouse relationships as office romances, the real benefits have nothing to do with romantic satisfaction. However, those with work spouses should be careful to maintain respectful boundaries in their relationships.
Okay.
So if you have ever had to ask yourself, do I have a work spouse? Right? Because you asked me and I was like, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so these are a few things that you need to ask yourself.
Okay.
If something at work troubles you, is there a particular coworker you rush to?
All right.
Is there someone who can always make you laugh at work?
Laugh?
Yeah.
Okay.
What, only your spouse can make you laugh? Friends can make you laugh.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Do you have a worker that you feel a special sense of trust and kinship with?
Okay.
Those are the questions you should ask
That's it?
yourself.
Just 3 questions?
3 questions.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Makes sense? Now, also, just a quick reference, this article from October 2023 referenced another article that they did in March of 2021 and said 45% of people say that a work spouse is not appropriate. And they tended to say that the people who said the work spouse was not appropriate was younger generations. The older generations didn't have as much of a problem with it than the younger generations.
You know what? Because the younger generation is probably like, if I'm going to be hanging out with this person,
I might as
well be in a relationship with this person. Versus the older people is like, this is security. I need this job. I'm going to do my job and I'm going home.
Correct. Right.
I
in my head, when I read that about the younger generations are the ones that tended to not think it was okay, is I feel like older generations tend to take relationships more serious, and younger generations, they tend to be more casual in their relationships.
Yeah, and plus,
so they may be not enticed, but like,
well, we grew up
a little easier.
I grew up where, and I'm gonna kind of paraphrase it. You don't take a dump where you eat.
Oh, I'm
so when you go when it's a part of your job, and especially nowadays, with people getting fired for less, you don't want to form anything outside of a work relationship with anyone at work, because that's the way that you provide. You know what I mean? So
I agree.
You don't trust it. But if you're younger, if you get caught up or whatever, you just go get you another job somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can see that.
So another thing that I saw was that, like, who normally would be your work spouse? So it's like a go-to person, someone that you always tend to go to, whether it's advice, whether it's to like blow off some steam and just kind of vent.
Okay, go ahead.
Like a confidant, like someone that you kind of tell people like, oh, I don't really care for this person, or oh, I got into this situation, can you give me advice? Things like that. And then a person who deals with many of the same people or circumstances that you do. So you guys just have a lot in common.
But if you, okay.
No?
So we're talking about a work husband or a work wife.
Work spouse.
A spouse. Mm-hmm. So you say that you have someone in your job that you think is a work husband. Don't say no names, but you think that you have somebody at your job that might be your work husband.
Well, so when Ron either asked me directly or talked about this topic, and I was like, yeah, I have a work husband. I mean, to me, it's not a big deal, and maybe I'm wrong for that. And I would never want to disrespect Ron. If he isn't okay with it or doesn't like me to reference it, then I wouldn't. And I would try to change my conception. But yeah, if there's a person at work that I've been working with for quite a while, and we've kind of went through the the ups and downs of work and our departments and stuff. So we tend to understand each other. Ron's met him and his wife. He's married as well, and we get along. So to me, it's like, and he comes and does work for us at the house.
I don't ask him. You ask him to come. So
but you're welcome. You welcome him real quick.
Why are you trying to justify something? Stop trying to justify it. Because the more you try to justify it, the more you make it weird. But I'm just saying, all right, I get you.
I am trying to like help you to understand that it's not because since we've started, you've been negative about it. And so not negative. I know that you're trying to do the opposite. Right. Or this wouldn't be a podcast if we both agreed or argued the same thing.
What I'm saying is when you talk about, if you're in a relationship and you talk about somebody being your work husband or your work wife, and you break down the definition.
So if I just said, no, I don't have a work husband, but I said I have someone at work that I get along with and bounce ideas off of and trust, would that be
when you break down,
would that sit differently just because I didn't refer them?
Well, I'm totally different, but I'm just saying, if you break down the definition of this, that, and the other, some people might feel a little offended. You know what I mean? Because
I get it. That's why I'm saying my intention is not to offend you, especially you, my spouse.
We're not making it about me.
No,
because I see things totally different. So
yes,
my thing is when somebody comes in and they ask you a question. But
I'm saying in general that people who legit think of a work spouse not in a romantic way. That's what I'm arguing. And so my spouse, that my intention is not to disrespect you in any way.
But the thing is, if you say, and somebody comes home and they say, hey, I got this a work spouse or a work husband. And the person says, what is the definition of a work husband or a work spouse? And you break it down. We got a close bond. We have shared interests. We have values and compatible personality. Automatically, that person is thinking like, what?
Well, I'm already afraid to talk about the benefits because
we're
going to twist it.
We're going to talk about these benefits.
Romantic, and that's the problem is you're twisting it.
I'm going to play these devil's advocate.
I know you are, and you're good at playing devil's advocate.
Because the thing is, if you think about it, the majority of the time that you spend in your day is at work.
Correct.
With certain people, right? And sometimes it's the same people. The majority of the people, you see what I'm saying? So when you start breaking it down and you start calling the work husband or work wife and this, that, and the other, and you have these bonds and stuff like that, 8 hours of that time you're spending with this person.
I hear you. So that's what I'm saying. Is the words of work spouse, work husband, work wife the main issue? Because no matter what, if you take those words away, there's still someone at work that I'm close to.
That dude. Or that girl. Or that woman. Yes. Exactly. That's exactly how it is. When you have someone, that you say you confide in, you do this, you spend your time with, this, that, and the other.
I bounce ideas off of.
Right.
I vent because we know the whole situation of stuff. Yeah.
So then when you come home and then you don't say nothing to me, but you have the feeling to say all these things to this other person.
I understand how someone's feelings can be hurt, but sometimes because you don't work with me, you don't work with these people that I'm venting about, you're not in the same circumstance, so you don't quite. Yes, you can listen to me vent, but you don't have the same feelings or experiences that I'm experiencing at work. So to have someone else who can have those same ideals or experiences, it's nice to have someone to talk to about those things.
Okay. Kiana says, I think it depends on how the other person sees work husband and work wife.
Correct.
Like my bestie to the point, that's my bestie to the point that's my work husband, right? Yeah. I don't see an issue, but you don't see an issue because you're involved in the situation. Yes. Like Kiana, if your man said that he had a work wife And he explained this work wife she means everything to me. I go to her.
No one talks like that about the show.
Yes, you can.
That they would say they mean everything.
Right, like
to
this
me.
person is everything to me. When I got to this job, this person took me underneath their wing.
Now
this,
you're kind of overdoing it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I am 100% serious.
Okay, so you say somebody at your job when you got to your job, right? And I'm saying male or female.
Yeah,
let's say female. Took you underneath their wing and they showed you everything that they needed to show you. They're always there for you. They do this, that, and the other. You have a person like that at your job. Yes or no?
You're asking me personally?
Yeah, male or female. It could be a female.
Yeah.
Okay. So you say that. If I said that my person was a female and did that for me from start to finish, right? Mm-hmm. And I explained that person to you in that manner, that's my work wife. Why would you have a problem with that? It's not romantic. You're playing on words.
You're playing on words.
No,
you are playing on words.
If I say this person is everything
you're adding
to me.
value to what is really basic. You're adding value by the words you're using.
Negative.
Yeah, you are.
Negative.
Yes, you are.
Right. If you look at it, like I said, if you break it down, you have the general term of a work husband, work wife. That's a general definition.
Said that.
Right. But if I say to you, like, hey, this person, if you ask me, do you have a work wife? And I say, you know what? Yeah, I do have a work wife. Mm-hmm. And you say, well, why do you consider this person my work wife? Because she's everything to me. You know what I mean? When I first got to this job.
It's the words here. She's everything to me.
And this is only work related. When I got to this job, I didn't know anything.
But
I was
who
thinking
would
about
use she's everything to me?
A person that's being honest about a work husband or a work wife. You're trying to sugarcoat it just because you don't want it to reach a certain point.
I would never reference my work husband as he's everything to me.
Why not? Per your job. Per your job. Per your job. Marley.
Is she everything?
Yes, and it's not working. Per your job.
Come here, Mar.
You have someone that is everything to you at your job. They took you from when you first got there to the person that you are right now and molded you.
Everything to me, though. That you're really like.
Okay, they mean a lot to me.
Oh my God, even that.
Oh my God, see, your definition is the problem of why it should not be a work husband or a work wife.
Because you're the one on the opposite end, and so I think that it's negative to you because you see it as more of a negative thing, so everything about it is going to be negative.
I don't know about that.
What?
Who,
me or someone?
Yeah, don't let them punk you, Ron. They are wrong. As soon as they bring it up, I'm feeling disrespected. This is JVR.
First of all, you never come on here, and this week is the one you want to come and join in a comment.
Yes, they don't understand how a man works. What I'm saying is that when you talk about a work husband or a work wife, a work husband for you, you try to sugarcoat it.
I'm not trying to sugarcoat it.
Yes, you are. You're trying to soften some words.
Emphasis in it that you are imagining it to be.
Well, call it what it is. That person means a lot to you.
No, you're putting so much more into it than what it is.
So why have a work husband or a work wife if they don't?
Because it's just someone who has similar experiences, similar interactions that I do, and just can understand.
So in real life, outside of work, who do you go to with those qualities? Who do you go to? Your best friends. They mean a lot to you. Your family members, they mean a lot to you. You don't go to strangers with those characteristics.
No one said anything about a stranger. It's still someone I know and may consider a friend.
A good friend.
There's still a limitation. It's still just a coworker.
All right, I'm gonna let you speak. Go ahead. So what do we got?
So, God, I am almost afraid to
no, because
say the benefits. All right, so here's a list of benefits that you get from having a work spouse.
Okay, speak on it.
Support.
I see it.
Stress relief. That was a little
You can relieve some stress, yeah. All right.
Like-minded mentors.
Okay.
Streamlined communication.
Okay.
Some of the benefits.
And what's the negative part about
All right,
it?
so negative is budding workplace romance. If it extends to that, jealous spouses,
Mm-hmm.
misconception of coworkers of your relationship.
Okay.
I'll have to give you guys an example because I have an example of that. What if your work spouse leaves and you rely on them, whether it's to keep your sanity? You okay?
Yeah, right.
Are you sure?
Excuse me.
Okay.
Yes.
So what if they leave, or vice versa? What if it makes it harder for you to leave because you have
Excuse
your
me.
work spouse who makes work easier?
What do you mean hard for you to leave?
Like some people, because they're comfortable with like the people that they interact with, and they've built a close bond with somebody at work, and so it makes it hard for you to leave. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. What if I can say that coming from property management, it has negatively affected me because in those 12 years that I worked, I thought that I built a lot of friendships, and it made me realize that people you work with are not your friends. They're not your friends. They're coworkers. So now that I'm at work, I'm friendly with people, but there's little to no people that I have built a friendship with at work.
Okay.
Right? So if you do have someone like that, and then you go to another place and you, like me, now at this new place, it's hard for me to trust or confide in or build friendly relationships like I did in the past that I don't now. So it would be hard to leave that comfort.
But just like you found the comfort in this company, you can find that comfort in another company too. It's just going to take time. Just like you built a relationship over time
Okay.
with someone at
I hear
your
you.
previous company,
But
you
you just
spend that same
it
amount of
just
time in your
makes
next
it
company.
harder. It's not that to say you don't leave, it just makes it harder to leave because you're like,
It don't make it harder to leave
the
because you're
grass
leaving
isn't
for.
always greener.
I know, but you're leaving for a specific reason, right? If you decide
I
not to
think
leave,
anyone, like I know Kiana always posts about her old coworkers at the wing place. She built very strong relationships with those people.
oh,
Wings,
Buffalo
Wild Wings, and even till this day, I see her repost about like memories. She was close to these people.
but you're okay.
So, do you see what I'm saying? That sometimes you just build bonds with people, and it's hard to leave them. Yes, you still leave them, but it's still hard because you built a friendship with those people.
Okay. I don't understand the whole work husband, work wife thing. I don't get it. But yeah, I understand that there are people in certain companies or whatever that, you gravitate to, you do this, that, and the other, and you're good. Gina, the topic today is what is your definition of a work husband / work wife and work spouse? And is it okay to go to lunch with a person of the opposite sex, a coworker? Right, we haven't got to that yet.
Yeah.
A coworker of the opposite sex while you're in a relationship. That is what the topics are
and
today.
Me and Ron right now are on opposite opposing sides.
Yeah, because the whole work husband, work wife, and the definition of it is I don't know about that. I don't know. What's up, Dave? What's up, man?
Well,
yeah, but the whole work. Okay, so with the whole work husband, work wife thing, here is my actual opinion on
your actual opinion.
Yeah, my actual opinion on how I feel about a work husband or a work wife.
All right.
I don't get it. Do I have a problem with it? No, because I'm a firm believer if it's going to get out of hand at work, no matter and relationship wise and so forth, it doesn't matter if you call each other a work husband, work wife, this, that, and the other. If you decide to take it across the line, it's going to cross the line, regardless on what you label it as.
Okay.
I just think that if you have that same respect for this person at work, where you come to them and you confide in them and you vent to them and this, that, and the other, you should have that same communication with your spouse when you get home. Okay. You should be able to talk to your spouse about this, and this. And
I'm fine with that.
But outside of that, I can care less if you had a work husband, a work spouse, this, that, and the other. It just doesn't. That's just a title that you guys put on it. I don't work with any women, so it is what it is. You know what I mean?
He always talks about so-and-so.
Those people are down the hall.
Okay.
But I don't work with them. I don't see them on a daily basis.
You see them often because you always have stories.
Not even often.
He's telling all.
No, we had 1 or 2 females that worked with me in 13 years. So that's just how it is. Gina says, of course, you're spending 8 hours plus what I said with this person, and it's clean. Ooh, it's clean lunch with no intentions of doing wrong. She thinks I'm pretty sure she says she's okay with it.
Oh, I was just about to say, Gina, did Ron hire you?
I did not. So let's break it down. We already went to the work husband, work wife. Let's go to, is it okay to go on a lunch? Go out to lunch
with a coworker
of the opposite sex when you're in a relationship.
Okay, my take on that, if it's one-on-one, hell to the no.
Okay.
No. In a group, okay, why not? My thing is, I work with almost all men. So there have been times, even in just meetings or whatever, or lunches that I'm invited to or required to go to, that I'm the only woman there, but there's a group of us.
Okay.
So I don't see a problem in that, but I would not go to a lunch with somebody, just me and that person.
But you would have a work husband.
Because there's boundaries with the work husband.
There's no boundaries when going out to lunch with a coworker of the opposite sex?
Yeah, there's boundaries.
Okay, so what?
And me not going to lunch with that person is a boundary.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Because then that, to me, is disrespectful. I would not go to lunch by myself with another person.
But you would have a work husband.
Because it's because you're digging deeper into it than what I see it as.
So you're looking at the lunch thing is differently than I see it as.
Really?
I'm going to lunch. Hey, what you doing? You don't have your lunch? Hey, let's go grab something real quick. Or let's go sit down and grab something.
Is different.
Oh, let's go
I'm going to go down to Lottaburger. Oh, do you want? Oh, yeah, I didn't grab. Oh, let's go pick up and bring back. That's different than going to lunch with having a whole 30 minutes or hour with this person, conversation at the same table.
So you wouldn't go to lunch with your work husband?
No.
Okay.
I would not. By ourselves? Nope. Would not.
No?
No.
Okay. And I don't see nothing wrong with it.
How funny.
I don't see, if you say I'm going to lunch, right? And y'all are going to. Which
I've said before, but never with one person.
Right. If you're going to.
Not with the guy.
Once again, if you're going to lunch and y'all sit down and y'all just having lunch with each other, it's no different than the same qualities as you have on for the work husband. You're going out there and you're just having lunch. It's not like y'all got to be romantic because you're having lunch.
Well, clearly you think it's all romantic.
I did not say that. I just said.
Well, people who have similar mindsets to what you're arguing, yes.
Gina says, I don't see nothing wrong going to lunch with a coworker / husband / wife or whatever, if your wife or husband truly trusts you and built a relationship with the coworker, not and I don't know what that is right there because I have a what do you call it? An Android. And if flirtatious way, or if not in a flirtatious way.
Oh yeah.
If you have nothing to worry about as far as cheating. Then I say the same.
I just think it's a respect thing.
Who cares?
Or if I was in a circumstance, okay, same person, and I told you about this, but it was work related. We weren't just going to lunch casually, like, hey, let's go to lunch, right?
Okay.
So do you think that's different?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
And Mike says, hell no, you ain't eating no lunch with no dude. Because here's the deal.
Yes.
If you go to lunch and you say it's work related, you can't tell me, depending on how long your lunch period is, the whole conversation is going to be about work.
Okay.
You can't tell me that.
It might be niceties, especially if you guys don't have, oh, how's your husband? How's your kids?
See,
blah, blah,
now
blah.
you're trying to break it down to, oh, now he's concerned about your family. He ain't concerned about your damn family. He gonna be asking, what are you like doing? What is this, that, and the other? He ain't, oh, how's Ron doing? He don't care about how I'm doing. Are you kidding me?
I'm not
for the
kidding
whole
you.
time,
Babe,
there's
not every single person of the opposite sex is trying to get in your pants.
Here's the deal, though.
Not everyone can. Do you really think that there is not one person that wouldn't take the opportunity just because it's there? Did I say that right?
Take the opportunity.
Like, just because you're in a situation that you're gonna cheat?
Some people do. You're naive to think that a lot of men, and I'm just going to talk for men, want to know about your freaking work habits at work. Do you file these in the right folder on the E-Drive?
Ridiculous.
No, people, when you go to lunch or whatnot, and people start hollering at you and you start talking or whatever, and you form this relationship, then it becomes not really about work. But you're flipping it on me because I said there's nothing wrong with you going out to lunch with someone at your job. If
Which
you want
is
to go out to
crazy
lunch,
to me that you're okay with going to lunch, but you're not okay with me just giving this funny title to somebody, just somebody who I what's the word that I'm looking for? Like a relatable person.
I didn't say I had a problem with it.
Well,
remember I said that, and then I said I don't have a problem
personally, but now because you argued the opposite, I'm arguing with you.
Right, because I don't have a problem with it either one, because I'm a firm believer. If you're gonna cheat,
you're gonna cheat.
You're gonna cheat regardless. Whether I'm at lunch, I'm in the break room, I'm in the cubicle. It doesn't matter where you
go to the gas station.
It does not matter.
Totally
you see what I'm saying? So if you decide to go to lunch with a coworker of the opposite sex, you do what you got to do.
Again,
you do whatever you feel as though your relationship can handle.
But I also have boundaries because, again, I work with almost all men.
I get you.
So I'm in situations a lot where I am the only female, whether it's, hey, they're going to a work lunch or we're in a meeting, whatever the case may be. Probably 9 times out of 10, I'm the only woman.
I got you. Mike is on one, man. Mike's wife can't do nothing. He said, hell no. He said, ain't no eating no lunch with no dudes. I don't trust dudes for shit. My language. If it's a group
Mike,
people,
but what if she works in a male-dominant industry like I do?
He said if it's a group of people, he's good.
Okay,
four or less.
Well, damn. So 3 is not okay?
He said, hell no.
4 or less is no?
He said if it's 4 or less, hell no. All right, I got you.
Mike. You don't trust your woman?
No, the only way they are not is if they already did. All right, I got you.
What do you mean?
Like if they're not messing around with each other at that point, they probably already did in the past. People are only as faithful as their opportunity. I get it. I sense a lot of this disgust and jealousy. Well, not for me. I'm good. You know what I mean? And that's from Gina. Trust me, they are trying to holler. I agree. Mike says if she worked in a male-dominant atmosphere, she will change jobs.
Wow, are you serious?
It's not
Mike?
her. I don't invite the opportunity. Okay, I get it. But like I said, it doesn't matter if you go out to lunch or not. You know, what matters is how you are and how you respond to it. So if you go out there, here's the thing. I would want the respect of the notification, not the conversation. You don't have to ask me anything. You're a grown woman. hey, yeah,
I
I'm
always
going to
tell you,
be
hey, I'm
here.
going to lunch with the guys, blah, blah, blah. I've told you
Right.
that. It's so-and-so's birthday. We're going, blah, blah, blah.
But I'm just saying, if it's like a one-on-one deal, and you
No.
said, hey, we were supposed to go as a group, and everybody kind of bailed out, so I'm going with this person to this spot. I just be like, all right, enjoy yourself, have a good time.
So my question to you is, would you go
On a
lunch?
On a what?
Would you? Okay, let me get that for you. Would you go on a lunch date
with a coworker of the
female
opposite
coworker?
sex?
And if yes, would you feel the need to tell me about it ahead of time?
Yes. It depends on what the situation is. I'm not asking a female coworker to go out to lunch. I'm not going to intentionally be like, hey, girl, you want to go out to lunch?
Okay.
I would not intentionally do that. If there was some situation that,
what if the base commander is your base command? Someone is a female and a higher up.
Okay.
Right? Would you agree? So I feel like you've said she or her.
Right.
Okay. What if they were like, Mr. Trouble, can we go to lunch? I have some stuff to discuss with you.
It depends. Is she fine?
Oh my God.
You see what I'm saying?
I get it, Mike. I get it.
Is she fine? Because what's her name? Read, if you can, what what's her name? Tonio's wife said.
Where?
On the comments for
on my Facebook.
It just depends on how she looks like, and I think the same thing with women. If I say I'm going to lunch with a coworker,
it wasn't Tonio's wife. It's Megan.
Was it
Poser's wife? For the love of God. Oh wait, let me not. Yeah. She said, for me, it depends if I know the person my husband may go to lunch with, and do I like them?
Right.
And are we good?
So she got to be a mud duck.
And do they know where I stand and how crazy I can
See what I'm saying? So she got to be intimidating, and the girl got to be a mud duck for her to go out.
That's the worst word ever to
I'm just saying, like, for real.
Somebody.
Yeah. So when it comes to me, like I said, it just depends on what the situation is. If somebody comes to me and you say a higher up in my job, which would be a commander, I would.
You wouldn't not go.
No, I would go.
I wouldn't expect you to not go.
Yeah, but I would let you know. Plus, that person would be in a uniform.
What if you didn't have time? What if she's like, "Are you ready now?"
Then I would go. I would go, but I would let you know. After. Hey, I went to this, just in case one of your nosy family members be like, "I saw your man."
That's my thing. Is to me, in the end, it all depends on the trust and the basis of your own relationship.
Okay.
That to me is first and foremost. Marley D.
Okay, I got you. Mike says, here's the thing. People have cheated just simply due to the situation. I got that. They didn't intend to, but their environment factors or other things that place two people in a situation.
I disagree, Mike. What? There's no intent to. You're either a person who cheats or you're not. No matter who you are.
I don't know about that, though. Sometimes.
But just because I'm in a circumstance doesn't mean I'm going to cheat. Just because.
But I'm not. But not you. You're saying you.
I know. I'm saying in general. I'm saying in general. Just because there's a circumstance. What if, I don't know, you go on a business trip, and unfortunately the one you're going with is a male.
I went with a female on a business trip. We went to
when you were married.
Orlando.
Oh,
yeah.
Since you've been with me, no, that was before me then.
Yeah, but but
you can't. What are you gonna say? No, sorry, can't go.
Correct. But then let's say that you go on a business trip.
Correct. That's what
normally
I'm saying.
You eat together and you do this and the other.
That's
so
what
that's
I'm
lunch.
saying. In the end, it depends on who you're in a relationship with and the relationship you're in and the trust you have within each other.
Mike says, if you get drunk and lose all control.
I'm sorry, but you know what? I just talked about that with someone, just like someone who tries to use the excuse about, I don't know, somebody who sexually touched somebody and, oh, I was drunk. I'm sorry, but if when you're sober, you don't have those tendencies, you're not going to do it when you're drunk. I'm sorry.
It is what it is. Gina asked the ladies in the house, do you think that all men cheat? Which is probably another podcast.
I do believe that all men are capable of cheating.
Damn, and women ain't?
She asked men. I'm answering her question.
Okay. Let me type this shit too.
Gina. I think that all men have a tendency to cheat, but it depends on if they do or not.
Here's the deal. When you start forming, and I'm not saying one time, if you go out on a lunch, however you want to call it, one time with somebody, I don't see no harm or foul in that. But if you start going consistently with someone, then it becomes a date. Now y'all have these lunch dates, and then you can't be talking about work every single time that you go out. So you have to start talking about personal stuff. Once you introduce your personal life with someone on a consistent basis, you have to start forming feelings in one aspect or another, whether you care or you don't care, whether you want to assist or you don't want to assist. Then it becomes venting. So once you become emotionally involved with someone and they start venting, so now you want to help them out in one way or another. And that's how relationships outside of your relationship form. Yes.
This was a rough one.
It ain't rough.
Yeah, it was hard to explain. It was hard to explain the circumstance because there's such a variety of things that could happen. Again, though, I feel like it's the basis of who the person is internally, what their morals are, what their values are. That to me is where it starts.
It's hard for me to understand because, like I said, I've only worked with guys. Yeah. The majority of my career has been with guys, especially as a civilian. Military wise, we have females, this, that, and the other. But then, that's a different story. But with civilian wise, I've worked with guys, and to the point where I've never had the opportunity to go out with someone on mutual grounds, no matter if I was married, they was married, and we just went out to lunch with each other. I could see it happening. You know what I mean? Hey, let's just go grab something to eat real quick, or let's just sit down and grab something to eat. But with no feelings involved.
Communication better happen.
But I know that, and I get that part, but I do also understand that there's a lot of times where when you do go out with for lunch with a person of the opposite sex, it's not about talking about work. You get away from work on your lunch break to kind of get away from work. So then you start talking about your personal business. Yeah. And that person can be that person that you kind of confide in when you having some issues, or you want to talk about a problem that you have within your relationship or something, because it's going to come back to that if you both have significant others. You know what I mean? Or how do you run your household? Oh, I agree with you. I want a person like that too, because my wife doesn't do this, that, and the other. Or my husband don't cut the grass, or he don't do laundry. And then all of a sudden, y'all all up in y'all feelings.
Again, John, I'm sorry. I think that no matter, I'm sorry, Mike, I still disagree with you. I think that no matter what circumstance you're in, you have your set values and morals, and you're either a cheater or you're not. Just because I'm in a circumstance and I'm in in a hotel on a business trip with a coworker who happens to be a male, that I'm just going to cheat because the circumstance has is that the right word? Has risen? No.
And
I really think it has to do with you.
But maybe that's a male versus a female thing. You know, sometimes males look at it as this opportunity is a once in a lifetime type deal.
And granted, Mike, you keep saying it's not that I don't trust her, it's them. Okay. So even if he were to hit on me, do you not trust me to set the boundaries? You know what I mean?
You better ask Mike.
Mike.
Yeah.
Speak on
Hey,
it, Mike.
said it's not about trusting in you.
He
He
said
ain't
it's
even,
reality.
yeah, she is not even gonna be in that situation when Mike says, no, I don't. Mike says, hey, he says, because men, sometimes that game be strong, boy. Them words be coming, bro.
Okay.
They promise you
And
the
what,
sun,
just because-
the moon, the rain. No.
And just because that, what, I'm going to drop my panties?
Some
No,
people
because,
do.
So they weren't the right ones from the get-go. If something as quick as some words are going to drop someone's panties, come on now. Come on now. Then you really didn't have that person in the first place. Because clearly they're easily enticed. Damn it. So
Gina says, I think all women and men, whether it's them being married or not, they all need their space, their alone space of that with family and friends when hanging out. So pretty much, you know what, man? Hey, when you look at it, man, where there's space, there's opportunities. Mike says men can be manipulative in some situations. They can.
Okay, I hear you.
The men's intentions, boy, they knock down the best of them sometimes. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you're saying, especially people in like a professional setting. So you're telling me that if I had the opportunity to go to a convention or something, and oh, by the way, it's with your boss who's a male, Mike, you would say, sorry, she ain't going because it's with a male, just because it's with the male.
Oh, she going, but Mike gonna be there with her. That's what
I'm an employee too.
Yeah, Mike said, hey, where we going? Hey, we going on this trip because y'all ain't going together.
For real?
We all going. He said, yep.
He said that.
Gina says, Mike, not all women are the same. A lot of women, like myself, have self-control.
Yes.
So do guys.
That's a great word. Thank you, Gina.
Yeah, but so do guys.
Gina Rios. Self-control is the perfect. Is that 2 words? Self-control. Self-control. Anyways. Yes.
Yeah, but some guys do too. You know what I mean? Some guys have the self-control. It's not all guys that. Granted, I understand where Mike's coming from, but there are some aggressive women as well. So
I always think of that with like the sports guys. Like there's what's the Love and Basketball where the dad's like, there's 20 women at the hotel and a brave however many get up all the way to the hotel room, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but he got busted upside his head with that watch.
But he clearly didn't have self-control. I'm just saying.
But yeah, I can understand that on both sides. Not all women are like that. Not all guys are like that. But I also understand Mike's point of view when there is the opportunity that's there, especially when you do go on these trips for work or whatever. How many times have you heard, and I'm going to say your job, some craziness that doesn't happen when it comes to consumption of alcohol?
Oh, we're a bunch of alcoholics.
That's what I'm saying. So the opportunity is there. Some people try to stretch or take advantage of the opportunity.
So that's what I was going to talk about is about the misconception of coworkers. So I know of a coworker who was close to her supervisor. They were friends, and there became a rumor. There was these 2 people who possibly started this rumor implying that they were cheating, and the girl confronted her and was like, how dare you do that? He's married. You guys basically are being messy and you guys could cause issues. Don't speak on what you really don't know because you're just making assumptions, and you could create because she was single, but he was married. She said you could really create issues in his marriage by being so, what's the word?
Petty.
Not petty, irresponsible.
Right.
Yeah.
But then again, if you look at their relationship and what they had, no matter if it's a friendship or not, people looking from the outside in, if that's the way it looks, you might want to change the look of how you interact with that person.
Yeah, I get it.
Right, because it looks like
But
you
again,
guys
if they were
have
in a position where unfortunately they just were always together.
not always together, but you can tell when somebody has the it for somebody. You can tell when somebody's attracted to somebody, whether they're flirting or if it's a professional relationship
Yeah, I
or
wouldn't
not.
argue
You can
that.
tell, yeah. So what they're saying is, if it's not this way, you might want to change, not your friend, but
Yes.
change the way that you are interacting with that
Interacting.
person,
I
because
agree
this
with
is how
that.
it looks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that part.
Ooh, this one was good, guys.
Yeah. Let me go to work and try to find me a work wife and go to lunch
As
with
long
her.
as she ain't hot.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't think I've been to lunch with me and a female coworker. I don't think I've ever done that before. Now, doing investigations, I have been, met
Like
someone at a coffee spot
yeah.
or whatever. Yeah, and it's just me and the young lady or
Right.
man or
That
whatever.
you're
Right.
investigating.
I have been, if they're not
Yeah.
comfortable with my investigation on base or whatever, I'll go to like Starbucks or whatever, meet a young lady and have no problem with that in the whole parameters of my job. But outside of that, I don't have anyone to go to lunch with.
And again, I still don't think I would, unless it's like an actual, hey, we need to discuss this.
What's up, Wink?
Let's go to lunch or whatever. I would go, but I would definitely communicate with my husband that I was going. But to just go to a casual lunch with just one person of the opposite sex, I would not do that. You ain't catching me.
It is what it is. You know what I mean? I don't know if I think I would go, but I think I would place that call just in case one of your family members say, "Hey,
So
I saw him."
I got a big family, so
Yeah.
one of them someoras will be around somewhere.
In case you say, "I saw him at the hotel." I don't know why he was at the hotel, but.
Anyways, guys, this was a good one. This was a juicy one, and it got heated. Did someone else make a comment?
That was Wink, man. That was Wink.
Hey,
What's
Winky.
up, Winky? The deal is, this was a good one, and the conversation was.
I still don't think there was a resolve, though.
Yeah, what is the definition between a work definition
spouse.
of a work spouse, whether it's work husband or work wife?
Yes.
And would you be comfortable with going on a lunch, whatever you want to call it?
Yeah.
With a person of the opposite sex while you in a relationship when it comes to a coworker. The deal is, either way, if you have a work husband or a work wife, I would suggest that you pretty much discuss that with your significant other and let that person know what is the relationship between the two of you guys, and have a feeling of if they're comfortable with you addressing that person as that title.
I agree. That's right? What I said. Like, if you were to come and say, hey, you referenced so-and-so as your work husband, I'm not really comfortable with that, I wouldn't do it.
Right. And then
it was just a casual reference due to, how I see our work relationship. But if my husband's uncomfortable with it, by all means, by me calling it that, it's not that big of a deal to me that I would certainly refrain from using it again if it offends you.
It is what it is, but you want to make sure that your significant other understands your definition of it and understands exactly what's going on, because you don't want to look like boo-boo the fool. And then on top of that, would you go to go to lunch with a person of the opposite sex when they become a coworker?
And Ron says yes.
And the thing is, he's
not okay with me having a work husband, but he's real quick to go. No,
I don't care about the work husband either. I'm just saying I would go on a date, not a date. I would go to lunch with a person of the opposite sex, but as a respectful thing, I would place the call and say, "Hey, I'm going to lunch. This is what the situation was, and I'm going to lunch with this person, and we're going to this location." Place. I would not ask someone of the opposite sex to go to lunch, but if it just ended up that person and me were the only person.
What if one of the girls down the hall catches you on your way out and they're like, "Oh, where are you going?" "Oh, I'm going to go grab whatever." And they're like, "Oh, do you mind if I go with you?" Right?
If I'm going to grab something, though. If I'm going to grab something.
No, well, granted, Ron is not a go eat by myself person, but there are people who do, right?
Okay.
So say this person was like, oh yeah, I'm going to lunch. I'm going to go, I don't know, wherever, Lottaburger, but they have seating there, right? So what if that person was like, oh, that actually sounds good. Do you mind if I go with you?
Right. So then I would be like,
you wouldn't say no.
No, I said I would be like, oh no, I don't mind you going with me, and then I would go. But then afterwards, I would say, hey, this is what happened. I was going to lunch, but then
because you may find yourself in that situation, and professionally, you also don't want. Now, if you know it's a guy or girl that has ill intentions, by all means, I don't care about your feelings. I care about my man's feelings. So the answer is, hell no, you can't go with me.
Right. Because what happens with me, though, and the reason I would say that is because my luck is I get into whatever the spot is, and then your daddy show up. It don't be like nobody like random that I don't, it'd be like your daddy be like, hey, Ron, what are you doing? That type of stuff. So then I'd be like, you know what, man, this is what happened.
I know, but I'm just saying sometimes you just don't want to be rude in a professional setting.
Correct.
Right. And so you're kind of almost cornered into saying, okay,
sure. Right. If there's no harm to it.
Correct.
But if I know, here's the thing.
Boldly,
if I know that you have met my coworker and she is, let's say, like she looks real good and she's very flirtatious.
Not
and
even
this,
that. What if it's somebody who's tried to get with you in
right,
the past?
Then that'll be a foul. Then I'll have to shut that down. But after that, if that's a person that you just don't care for.
Because you can lie and be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm meeting somebody.
Yeah,
right?
Or for somebody that you just don't care for, then it'd be foul for me to go. I
agree.
All right?
Boundaries, guys.
Yes. We really appreciate this. Has been a good topic.
Thanks for chiming in, everyone.
Yes.
This is one of my favorites, actually.
We really appreciate you guys chiming in. Next time, Mike says we should do something about what ethnicity cooks the best fried chicken. Yeah.
Guys, so my husband is super picky with food, and I'm trying to convince him maybe every so often for him to try stuff during a podcast because he's so picky. And then if you guys could be like, oh, have him try this and he try it, wouldn't y'all want to see that?
No.
Yes.
No. Very traditional.
But and then I really want you to like be honest and be like, most of his answers would be like, it's okay.
Yeah, we're gonna pass on that. But we might do that next, Mike. We'll take a look at it and see what we can come up with. But thank you guys, everyone, for chiming in. This has been a really good podcast and whatnot. He said fried yak feet.
Ew, no.
Until next Thursday, we'll come up with.
Are we on next Thursday?
What is
When's
next
the
Thursday?
Holiday?
What holiday?
Isn't there a holiday?
Memorial Day?
We're in May. Oh, yeah, that's
like 2 more weeks from now.
Yeah, but that's on a Monday. So, no, we're good. We're good. Okay, never mind. We'll be here next Thursday, guys.
All right. Thank you guys for your support. We'll holler at you guys.
Have a good weekend.